If you're a parent and your kid likes to eat their boogers, and no matter how hard you try to get them to stop, they just won't break the habit, and you've just decided to go ahead and accept that your kid is going to be a booger eater, click the subscribe button.
So we got cut off from our last video because we didn't realize that we have a timeline or that the videos have to be under a certain amount of time. So I meant to come on, I meant to talk about just my perspective from being an autism mom. And there's so much that I can say, but I think I'll just start from the beginning. When we initially found out about Anna's autism, I did not take the news very well. I grieved for quite a while. I think because I was scared. We got so much information when she got diagnosed that it was very overwhelming for me. And all I could think about was, like, not my kid. I don't want my kid to have to struggle. So it took me a little while to process what was going on, what we needed to do, understanding what autism is, because I had no understanding. I thought it was one thing and it's not that. I really don't even know that there's a true definition of autism because it's so different for every single kid that has autism. So it was really hard for me, and it took me a little bit to really wrap my head around what was going to need to happen. We immediately started Anna in therapy. That was never an issue. It was nice at the time to know, like, okay, we have this problem, and here's some resources and solutions to help. So we initially dove into therapy right off the bat, but I couldn't tell you that I was like, okay, I'm going to go at this with a positive mindset or anything like that, because that wasn't the case for me. And as we progressed with therapy, I wouldn't say it's gotten easier, but it's definitely been something that I am growing to love about my kid. I have always said and will always say that Anna is not defined by her autism, that it's just a piece of her and a piece of her life journey that we will get to look back on, and either she'll carry this with her through adulthood, or we can look back on and see how she's overcome so many challenges and so many statistics with autism. So, as a mother, I really struggled with a lot of guilt. I struggled with somewhat shame. Not ashamed of my daughter, but just shame that she would have this label hanging over her head. And it took a lot of breakdowns, a lot of difficult conversations with Austin to really say, okay, no matter what, we're pushing forward. We're not going to let this hold us back. And, no matter how I feel, I'm not going to deny my daughter what she needs, because I know that can happen with a lot of parents, and I can see how easy that can happen. Like denial and being afraid and not wanting to have your kid have labels can easily turn into a holdback for your kids. And so thankfully, with Austin being my partner, we've never had that problem. He's always helped me push forward even when I've had very difficult days. It took me a while to tell my family. It took us a while to tell our friends. But fast forward to now, and I can't say that I have fully embraced the autism life and that I am just so, I always have a positive mindset about things, because there are moments where I am overcome with fear. A lot of times I'm really worried that I'll never have a normal conversation with Anna. That's something I struggle with quite a bit. Because when you become a mom, when you become a parent, you don't ever think about these things. Like, you're pregnant and you think about having a healthy baby and delivering at full term and, you know, epidural, not epidural, like all that stuff. But never in my wildest dreams did I think that I would cross a road of special needs. So, you know, I find myself falling into traps sometimes of seeing my friends who have kids her age that are getting to enjoy, you know, conversations that I worry I'll never get to enjoy. And then there's days where Anna has improved so much in such a short amount of time that I'm like super, super hopeful, super positive, and just full of, you know, joy for her and like what her future will look like. So I can tell you that I do feel like this short journey so far has been a blessing for me, because it's taught me a lot of patience that I didn't know I had. My family could probably tell you that I was the least patient with kids. And now I feel like I have this supernatural patience that I never thought I would experience with kids, especially with my own. And I feel very blessed to know someone with autism that I love so much, because I can see how beautiful like autism is. Anna is so smart, and I know she's going to be so creative. I almost feel like she's going to be fall into life in like the musical industry, whether she's a singer or a creator or whatever. But getting to see that side of her autism has been really cool, because, you know, sometimes we treat kids so differently and we limit what they do and how they do things because we have this box that we put kids in. And I'm guilty of that. I was putting her in a box for so long, and now this has given me a freedom for her and for me and for our family to say, like, let's do what you need and what you want to do in a healthy way. And it's removed those boundaries that I had learned and created for her so long ago. It also gave some grace for me as a mom, because before her diagnosis, I really struggled with, like, she would throw these fits, or she wouldn't sleep well, or she wouldn't do things that other kids are doing. And I would think it was me, like, I'm a bad mom. I didn't do things the right way. Like, I, you know, failed in some way. And even though I think that's a natural feeling, I feel like this has allowed me to have some grace on myself, because it is hard raising a child who cannot communicate with you. It's hard to do sometimes, just to do everyday things, like if she's thirsty and, you know, she needs a drink, she's not gonna just ask me for a drink right now. She's going to either cry, maybe someday she'll drag me to the fridge, and we have to go through everything in the fridge before she tells me she points to the drink. You know, it's just not as easy. But I will say, for anybody out there who's struggling with motherhood, special needs, not special needs, whatever your situation is, just give yourself some grace, because motherhood is really hard. You become a new person when you become a mom. And, you know, it's on top of all of the things the world throws at us. Like, we throw ourselves some pretty hard pitches, and, you know, we're all just doing what we know how to do and how we know how to do it. And if you have a kid who you're even slightly concerned, like, don't be afraid to ask more questions or to go get them tested. I can just tell you from experience that nothing has changed with our kid. My love for her hasn't changed. The way we see her hasn't changed. The only thing that's changed is she has more resources and we are able to help her more. So I hope that throughout us sharing this journey, you guys just learn that we are just so full of love, and we love our kids, and we just want to share something that can be so difficult and daunting, in a way that is hopeful for people and even for ourselves, because there's so much beauty in sharing what you're going through. And, you know, if there's anybody out there, that even one person that can benefit from us sharing our story and our emotions and like our life, then, you know, we've done our job. And so, yeah, I'm glad I get to be on here and tell you guys how it is for us as a family. And I hope that you love to watch us, and we can show you some real content. So we will see you guys soon. Okay.
Wow! Wow! Yes, my home for
You look beautiful.